What's going on, everybody? 505 interview series coming back at you. Glad to see you. If you tuned in last week, sorry about last week. Guest canceled on Sunday. Just he had something that came up he couldn't get out of, so I just decided, you know what? I could use a little bit of a break. I work hard for you, the people out there, so we will definitely get Rob rescheduled for another later date. But I'm excited for tonight's show. But before we get started, hey, make sure that you like this video because it'll get it out there to more people. So make sure you smash that like button. And, of course, subscribe. It's free. It's free to you. You get all this great content for free, but make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Also, pinned in the comment section over on YouTube and down in the description on everywhere else, I've got my link tree. Click on that link tree and go support my advertisers, sponsors, and preferred retail partners. They really do help continue to keep all the programming going on the channels that you love and enjoy. And your support goes a long way in making sure that I can continue to keep the content train rolling. So whether you're looking for sticks or you're looking for accessories, I have you covered. So take advantage of the exclusive promo codes only available to my viewing audience out there and save yourself some coinage. So much to do to pay the bills to get started on the show tonight. But coming to you from the 505 Summer Lounge, a.k.a. We got the Frozen Tundra Lounge. It is negative 10 degrees out. I am bundled up, ready to go. Man, the chat is just hopping between both Facebook and YouTube. So welcome, everybody. Glad to see you all in here. Excited for my guest tonight. I got to meet this dude at PCA in 2023. He was just wandering the floor, and we had a great conversation from there. And really, we've kept in contact on everything going on. He recently got promoted to the national sales director of the boutique brand KiKi MoMo Cigars, and I'm really excited to have him on. They also have a brand new drop that's coming, and for a lot of you, you may be here because there's free shit. That's right. That's right. I'm excited. Henry is our guest, Henry Cortez, who is the National Sales Director for KiKi MoMo Cigars. He's got a KiKi MoMo prize pack we're going to give away to somebody in the chat tonight. So make sure you're watching and type in 505 Nation if you want to win, and I will randomly select someone. You can enter as many times as you want. It doesn't really matter. I don't know how the rules on this are going down. I'm just kind of being the middleman for the giveaway. So, but without further ado, let's bring him on, Mr. Henry Cortez.
How are you, sir?
What's going on?
You look super cold.
I am cold. I am cold.
I feel my days up north, man. I feel you right there.
Well, we won't hold it against you that you're Canadian. There, we won't. Your body is built for it.
I think so, but ever since I moved to Vegas and I got used to that crazy weather that happens in the summertime, I feel like my body's adjusted, and every time there's cold now, I feel like I'm a little girl. I have to wear a sweater.
Well, I guess so. I mean, now that you're in a real country, unlike Canada, you're able to actually be warm.
We might be brothers soon.
Maybe there may be a spot in that administration for the 51st state, just for you.
Good situation.
I'm excited to have you on, my friend. I have here KiKi MoMo Cigars, and I have been a big fan of KiKi MoMo since you introduced me and we exchanged cigars. And I'm like, man, these are really good sticks. How come more people don't know about this brand out there? Look at this. Look at this deliciousness.
There's a lot going on in that box right there.
Yeah, there is. It's just a box of sexy.
That box is beautifully designed. We took some time to really craft how it looks, how the people respond to it, colors, and that overall that artwork is just something that really ties our how we stand as a brand. And so having as many vitolas and blends that we have, it's just nice to tie it all in with some culture, and that's we're very proud of that box.
Yeah, look at that graphic. That's awesome. Yeah, Josh. He's
The drill buckets going.
oh, he hadn't even smoked it yet. We already got drill buckets going. Just
Yeah.
strictly based on that sexiness in that box and that badass design that you got going on there. Anthony, I got to tell you, it's got to be you because everything's coming across fine on the Facebook stream I got up. So it's got to be you out there.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, let me try turning up Henry's volume a little bit more. Henry may need to talk into the mic a bit deeper. How about now? Go
I'll
ahead.
probably take up some of the screen just to get closer to this microphone. But yeah, if you can hear me, we're good.
Can you hear him better now? I got him turned all the way up.
Somebody said audio was good, so yeah,
All right, so there you
cool.
go. Yeah,
That's Anthony.
it's got to be Anthony, who is barred from winning the giveaway since he's an employee of KiKi MoMo.
I do want to just give a shout out to the KiKi MoMo team. There's a lot of you guys in the crowd. So I'm very very happy that we're all here supporting 505 Cigar Review, and man, we're already getting started. We're rocking and rolling.
Look at that, Eduardo here. He's excited for the interview. First time he's getting to see KiKi MoMo. So excellent,
Nice.
Eduardo. Yeah, they do fantastic cigars.
Yeah. So I remember the first time I met you actually, because you gave me a nice introduction. I appreciate that. Um, we met at PCA like you said, and I remember you were trying to get a bunch. You were trying to get a bunch of interview rooms booked because you were doing a bunch of interviews at the time. And at the time, I believe you were representing Family by Loyalty Cigars. That was it.
Yeah, I do some work for them. Really, I was there helping out. Walking the floor, trying to drum up business and
Yeah.
stuff. But I do some work with them occasionally.
That's good. And that's how I met you. You hooked me up with some great cigars that day, and ever since then, it's just been uh, running into you at TPE, not this year, but the previous year, and then we're gonna run into each other at PCA again. So hopefully we'll do an interview over there. Maybe you guys can hear me better then.
Yeah. All right. I'm playing around with the audio, guys. So just let me know if I'm still too loud uh, on my end on that. So tonight you're dropping the Patriot. So which one is the Patriot in this giant box of deliciousness here?
So the Patriot is our Stars and Stripes cigar. It's very easy to find.
I got it right
There we
here.
are.
Oh, Marca.
Yeah, so we have this beautiful design that we were able to, as a company, create, and it resonates with us a lot because first of all, the owner of the company, Keith Moskowitz, when he designed this thing, he wanted to bring something well, as patriotic as he was to the cigar world, and having a unique dual wrapper blend of Habano and Maduro, it just kind of added this nice little flair that the company was looking for. And overall, it's been a cigar that has just been so unique and so like appreciated by so many people. And it's one of the things that we're super proud of to offer as one of our offerings. And yeah, man, fantastic cigar. I already see you're already diving into it, my friend.
It smells fantastic, by the way. Let's see here. Yeah, really enjoy KiKi MoMo Cigars. Excellent out there. And then, of course, where? Oh, I just lost the comment there. Oh, where can you procure KiKi MoMo Cigars at there, sir?
Or can we procure it? Well, we are in a bunch of places across the United States. So if you're fortunate for our soft releases that you were able to be near a brick and mortar for them, then that's fortunate. But right now, we're working towards attending PCA this year, 2025, in New Orleans in April, I believe, 11th to the 14th. And while we're doing that, we're going to be trying to spread as much as we can. So if you haven't tried it yet, if it's not there yet, then just don't worry. We are coming. We're going to make our way around. You got muted, buddy. I can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. Yes, Eduardo, they do sell direct to their consumers off of the website.
Yes, for now. We eventually are going to change that. We're making a pivot this year. So I mean, if you can get them now off the website, then go get them. But that website is going to be coming down pretty soon.
All right. Uh, let's see. Oh, rolling. There's a good question there. Roll.
So
Since you really are a boutique brand out there with a lot of people tuning in tonight who really have never heard of you or may have faintly heard about you passing through. These are kind of a lot of questions people have. So,
sure.
and it's a good question. Rolling, do you guys have a factory, or do you rent out a factory?
So I'll start from beginning to end pretty much to kind of answer as many of these questions as possible in one shot. So we actually have the whole proprietary stage from seed to finished product, right? So the owner Keith bought the seeds from Cuba, and he bought a farmland in Esteli, Nicaragua. So over there, there's the operation there, the manufacturing operation, which we contract people to work there, and for years, Keith has kind of been stockpiling his tobacco, aging it, stockpiling what we have created as product for the many vitolas and blends that everybody has, and let me tell you, it's just we've gotten into some right here. Actually, let me get into this cigar. So this particular cigar, the Patriot cigar, is an aged 5 year Esteli Nicaraguan puro. So we only use Esteli Nicaraguan tobacco. We don't use anything else. We get so much flavor out of it. The land there is just so giving, and we end up actually having fantastic smooth blends at 5 years. It's hard to just get into to cigars when they're just 2 and 3 years age. That's typically what you get at a $10 to $15 price point, a retail. But you get into it, and it's just that there's just still that lingering ammonia, and you kind of get that bitterness from it. But once you get into KiKi MoMo cigars, age 5 years and upwards, eventually what we're going to be doing, it's going to be just smooth and flavor. So that could be a reason why so many people really appreciate the cigars itself.
Mm,
You're ahead of me.
very, very good.
I'm so glad.
Very good. Good to see you, Sam. A lot of people in here tonight. Good question there from Mr. Eric Bay of Black Star Line Cigars. What's the name of the factory?
So that's our proprietary name, KiKi MoMo Cigars.
KiKi MoMo. There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So you've already gotten into it, but for the people watching, I'd like to get into a little bit of how I recommend people smoke a KiKi MoMo cigar. All right. So when you start, I mean, you have you just take it out the cellophane and you start however you want to. But what I recommend is when you're cutting it, for example, we have this we have this tip here, and the cap reaches to about here, I believe. Sorry about that. Reaches to about here. But what I do recommend is just cutting it off, kind of like just that end of the pencil there, just like that. Good job, buddy. And when we're getting into that, you get to cold draw it, which you already did, which I appreciate. When you get into the cold draw, you actually get to experience the taste of the tobacco before it gets charred, as you already know. And what it does is that it gives you a whole different palate experience when you're actually just hanging in there and just cold drawing. I like to cold draw. Sometimes I'll do like 20 minutes, but I want to make sure that I enjoy my cigar. That's right. It is President's Day. Happy President's Day, guys.
It is. There's another good question there Eric has there. What does KiKi MoMo mean?
KiKi MoMo is actually, it's a fun play on the owner's name. So the owner's name is Keith Moskowitz. So KiKi MoMo. So you can get how you got that play on words there.
There you go. Yeah, nice.
All right. So let's say you've enjoyed your cold draw already. There you go, buddy.
Sam, yes, I do have. That is the cigar we're talking about.
So once you get into torching it, I recommend. Well, you went in with a tri-torch, I guess.
No,
I always recommend going with a single torch.
single torch.
And you had okay, good, excellent, yeah, plus points for you. So this so
No, I have. So I have my other lighter here, which is a triple torch. However, it's -10 out, and the lighter this lighter does not like to work when it's really cold out. So I had to go with the heavy duty
that's this guy right here.
M16 lighter.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Jessica cute? Is that Stogie chick? Are we being graced by royalty?
There you are.
Whoa! Hey, Jess. Good to see you. Wow. Thanks for jumping in. Wow. Royalty in tonight.
Okay. So I like to get in with a single torch, something not too crazy. I really bring it down. I don't want to use anything crazy for it. So what I end up doing is just toasting the foot, taking my time, because I want to get that burn as cool as possible, as low temperature as possible. And the reason I do that is because I want to make sure I get maximum flavor off of it.
You get that maximum flavor. I did a trash job lighting my cigar.
Yeah,
Good
so
job.
when you end up having that really cool burn, all that flavor comes out. You maintain an incredible palette of, like, right now, right off the bat, I'm getting a little bit of espresso. If you like habanos and you're used to the black pepper, you're actually going to get more of a cayenne pepper in the back of your palate, and that actually is a total game changer. A lot of people don't get to experience that in many cigars, as you can see.
This is very good. It is definitely a pleasure to the mouthful.
The mouthful. Yeah, I appreciate that for sure. Like, this is actually a mild plus to medium, so it's not strong, it's not crazy. It's just a beautiful smoke that has a fantastic flavor. Overall, great palate. When you retrohale, you really taste a lot on the upper part of your palate, and just you can smoke
It
these back to back to back all day with a beer or
it
something.
it, it is because yes, that espresso comes right up front on the palate, and then that back of the palate, like you said, with that cayenne, that chili powder type taste, it's there. But when it moves into the retro, that chili powder gets almost like a smokiness to it through the retro. Very nice. Like the retro's making me drool a bit.
There we go. And it's only
Ah,
been 10 minutes.
I haven't. The bucket has not been busted out yet.
10 minutes in
Yeah.
and you're drooling. That's a good
No,
sign.
I said it makes me want to. I didn't say I was yet.
Just give it a minute until when you get into the end of the first third,
But I really
that
like that.
bucket's coming out.
I really like that smoky, that smoky chili, that taste. It's really nice in the retro. That's really different and unique because you tend to not get that smoky flavor through the retro often. It's usually a mid center palate taste that picks up. So that's nice.
Yeah. Usually, when you get Esteli Nicaraguan tobacco, it's actually quite. It actually not quite, but it has earthiness to it. How you doing, Chris? It's fantastic because the earthiness is like a subtle nuance as opposed to something that's really upfront, and you get that hint there, and it's just a nice little tie-in. It actually works really well together.
It is. There's a bit of a sweetness. Um, Not quite like a granulated sugar sweetness, but similar.
Yes, there's something sweet about it, which I believe is just more of the of that giving land in Esteli,
Oh
Nicaragua.
yeah, it's very nice.
That's beautiful Mother Earth for you. So the question here is, Douglas, is Mr. Cortez, how far down do you smoke it? I'll show you. So a little earlier today, smoked it down to about here,
Oh,
But that's because I really didn't have time. If I had my nub tool, I would have gone a lot further.
amateur.
No, 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 no. We're here today.
So does the owner there, Keith? Does he work on all these blends himself, or does he has he hired in a master blender to work these blends out?
We do have a master blender as part of the team, but we don't really like emphasize the master blender. It's just somebody who's very, very knowledgeable and knows how to do
Okay.
it. It's all part of a nice little internal team that they have in Nicaragua. And just as far as like blends go, like Keith did approve a lot of the blends that were made and put together. So a lot of the things that you probably had in the past, like I know you've had our Habano with us before, and we these are all hand-picked, hand-approved by Keith. And Keith is a lover of all cigars. We have things even that are extremely peppery. We have things that are just that nice, bold Maduro, but in a more of a medium. We have a beautiful Candela. It's such a niche market when it comes to Candelas, but with such a beautiful Candela. It's buttery, creamy. It's got a nice sweet grass to it, like a note of sweet grass to it. It's just absolutely out of this world. It beats anything else that's Candela on the market currently. So I mean, I'm bold to say that because I smoke a lot of stuff. Like this was just the last few months, Like I try a lot of stuff because I like to see what's in the marketplace.
Yeah, you've got to though. You've got to. It's research.
Yes,
Market research is
yes.
what. That's how I look at it out there. Yeah, I have had quite a few different uh, styles on yours, but I want to go back to the blending there. So, do you guys have an idea of what you're looking for within your blending, or do you guys just kind of like let play around and see if something sticks?
We try to create some things for mass appeal. We want something that's universally accepted. So our blends tend to be more on the medium side. We don't go too crazy, too heavy, right? And our blends, again, it's just we wanted to create as many as possible because we know there's just so many people with so many preferences. So that really works out really well for everyone that gets to try KiKi MoMo cigars.
Now, I don't know if you're a pair or not. This is where we need Brandy because she's the spirit expert here.
So
But
a single malt. Uh, I've never really been a huge fan of malt, to be honest, but I have tried it before, and I feel like this easily pairs with a coffee. So anything I would recommend more on the black side if possible. Um, but given that bold bitterness sometimes you get with black coffee, that malt also has some of that sweetness, but at the same time it has that bitterness as well. So I mean, this is something that could work really, really well. I know that I don't know after smoking, let's say the Patriot cigar, um, that it lingers for a very long time, and it's a very pleasant linger. You don't necessarily are rushing to brush your teeth after you smoke, and this particular cigar works really well with something that can be sweet. So, you know, you should try that, and I probably think that will work out well for you.
so what made good question from Eduardo? Eduardo, you always got good questions, man. What made the boss man want to get into this family thing or personal passion?
Yeah. So, um, Kiki Momo Cigars originally was just a retirement plan for Keith because he had just recently retired and just needed a job. And he made his own job basically. He's very passionate about cigars for over 40 years. And, this is just an opportunity for him to just give himself, a little freedom, at the end of his retirement. Fast forward, he kind of met me and kind of met the new team that we have. And it's just become just a retirement job to this is something that could potentially really grow. The product is phenomenal. There's no reason why we shouldn't go for it. So it's just one of those things that, you know, it was a passion first, and now it's a more of a service now because when you have a product that's really really good, like take Kiki Momo cigars out of the equation for a second. When you have a fantastic cigar, you want to share it with everybody, especially when you find something in the humidor at your local B&M. You just want to go pick it up and be like, hey guys, check this out. You got to try this cigar. That is the type of enthusiasm that we get from our cigars. So it's like, listen, guys, we got something really amazing here, and I think we really need to go forward with this.
It's not really a job when you look at it like that, because that passion gets you up every day to want to go to work. And when you have that, it's not really work. It's not really a job.
Yeah, I agree. That's holding up real nice. So,
Look at that
I didn't
ash.
want to say anything, but we have a very fantastic construction as well.
So far, it's looking good. We're stacking nickels here.
I'm not a guy that can sit still to do these long ash competitions, but if there's ever anybody in the market that want to do that kind of thing, this is very, very, very good. Like, I fidget around, I move around, I twist, I this. Like, there's no way that I can hold up an ash with any other cigar. But with this particular ash, it seems like a lot easier to do.
I'm taking in the aromatics on the cigar. Um, Very nice on the aromatics. I'm sitting here smelling the foot, and it's a beautiful, just caramel coming off of this foot. Like, you almost want to eat it. Like, it's really nice. Now, where I was talking about that sweetness earlier,
Yeah.
it's defining itself now with that sweetness coming out as more of like a vanilla bean uh, on it. So it's nice. It's got that tart. There's a bit of that tartness to it. The taste is just it sits there a little bit. When you hold that smoke and you let it sit, it really defines itself on the center palate very well. So, if you little bit of vanilla in your espresso, mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Making it all happen right now in my mind.
yeah. Well, there you go. You talked about it. There he is. There's the boss.
It'll go to dimes. That's right.
It'll go. Maybe I thought this was a little bit of a thicker gauge. That's why I said nickels. But yeah, all right, dimes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you get the idea though. Like, when you have a cigar that has a fantastic structure, it just enables, you know, so much confidence you're not going to ash it on yourself. One, but then two, it's just like I want to actually have a long ash competition out here in Vegas, which is where I'm from, and I want to see if we make something happen like that this year.
I really, I gotta say, I'm really attracted to that smokiness of the cayenne and the retro. It's not overpowering, and it's just enough, and that smokiness brings that down to where it's not like you're snorting lines of cayenne. It's just perfect.
It's a Habano dream. That's the only way I can really put it.
Yes, this is a fantastic. I mean, like, it's fantastic. I'm a big fan of habanos. That's usually like one of my just go-to smokes at any time is usually a habano, and this is fantastic. Really good. Really good. Mm. Mwah.
Oh, here it comes.
Well, no, 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 no. I don't know. Because of that, I'm not. I'm just gonna hold out, and you're just gonna have to
You're
watch
holding
me.
back.
You're just gonna have to watch me drool on myself.
That's okay.
But I
That's a
know. Hey, look,
testimonial.
this is look. This is Henry is going for the bucket.
Hmm.
All right, it's sitting here, ready to go.
That's a good
Oh,
idea, though. I think I might actually have a drill bucket here.
very good. I just tapped that ash, and here it is, solid,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
solid, solid on the ash, and then you can see that burn. Really nice, beautiful. Inside, no holes, no coning. Well, the coning, that would be a me problem.
Yeah, no, I'm taking my time today, but usually I smoke fast. So I do get a lot of coating when I particularly smoke. So, I know what you're saying.
Ooh, that is good. Ah,
This is KiKi MoMo Cigars, my friend. I think the best part about this is because there's that Maduro trim, that Maduro wrapper trim that's there. Sometimes you'll get that little sweet nuance that you get because sometimes you'll get that chocolate of our Maduro, for example. We get notes of chocolate there. It's just it's nice having that undertone in the Habano, you know. I smoke too fast as well.
like I
uh,
think a lot of people. I find myself when I'm really digging a cigar, fast smoking too because it's really good.
yeah.
I gotta remember. Let's put it down for 30 seconds. It's not gonna go anywhere. That's the problem I have sometimes on the Tuesday night show is, I'm like, dang, this is really good. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of like I'm already a quarter way through. I gotta slow this up a bit.
For the show, yeah. What I like to do is I like to have a particular cigar that I call my absolute favorite, and then that's the one that I sit down and really take my time to smoke. I smoke it as slow as possible because it's my favorite, and I was a store associate before I became a rep and before I became a director. So I worked at a lounge in Vegas, and so I was trying all sorts of stuff. And to this day, I still can't find a cigar that tops the Punch After Dinner Lonsdale. That by far has been my favorite cigar. I love that Honduran tobacco. It's just very, very peppy. It's just something extra that it gives to the cigar, and I can't find a cigar to top it. These KiKi MoMo cigars are by far the most consistent favorites that I have that are up there. But again, this is just one of those cigars that I can't top.
So, how did your cigar story start?
So I moved to Vegas in 2021. And I needed a job at the time. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do when I moved out here. And there was a job ad for a lounge associate. So I said, okay. So I went over and interviewed, and I got the job. And, every job has its, closet of messes, that sometimes need to be cleaned up. So it was just one of those situations that it was a massive humidor that I had at Tobacco Leaf in Lake Mead, Las Vegas, and this place has one of the biggest humidors that you've ever seen. It's stacked so high. It's absolutely incredible selections, and being absolutely green to this industry, I had to learn so much so quick, to be able to serve customers in the humidor. And every customer that came in would ask me, "Oh, what do you recommend? What do you recommend?" I'm like, "I think I've only smoked like 3 cigars since I was hired here, so I had to start smoking a lot more." Um, I started getting like tips at work, so the tip money that I used, I would use to buy more cigars, smoke them at home, learn more, like just get going on that. And then I got really well versed where I started to really help the customers out, and my recommendations started going very far. Recommendations started becoming recommendations for other customers, and other customers would start to spend more money with the store, which is ultimately what you want in business, right? So then from then on, I met a couple reps. I don't know if you're familiar with Ed Trevino from, yeah, there you go, yeah,
Love
big
Big
beard
Ed.
Ed.
Love Big Ed.
Yeah.
So, were you a cigar smoker prior to taking that job, or did you go into it completely green? Like I kind of occasionally smoke, maybe once or twice a year.
Not like I was super
Oh
green.
wow! So
But
you really are a newbie.
at the time, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I
Wow!
didn't know
So
anything. Being from Canada, we did have access to
wow.
Cuban cigars. I had a few of those in the past, and it was cool. But I wasn't really into it until I came to Vegas, and it was just such a different, like, much more affordable here in America than it is in Canada. In Canada, it's absolutely ridiculous with the taxes and all that. It's like 125% taxes on retail. It's something stupid like that. And you don't get to, like, when you're coming up in the world, you don't really get to spend that much. So coming to Vegas was kind of like, it's only this much, and I just, I was a kid in a candy store for a while.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's cool. I you know that I appreciate that. So you really have a fresh palate and that fresh perspective that out there coming into this green and then really getting on the job training. Boy, I'd love to have an on the job training like that. Smoke cigars all day.
Yeah.
That would be like that's like a dream job for me. It's like is anybody hiring and can pay me what I make now at Coke and same benefits that I have at Coke, but I get to smoke cigars all day. I'd take that job in a second.
That's a beautiful dream, man. Yeah.
I would. I would take that. Like I applied for a different position that would allow me to get out of the field and let me stay at home and kind of do what I do now, but on the computer. And I was like, well, I would set up everything in here, and then my whole day would just be spent smoking cigars while I'm working. And I'm like, and they're gonna pay me how much to do that?
Well, you're doing a really fine job with this podcast. I have to say, I've been watching for a while, and I think that it's podcasting and shows around cigars obviously have their restrictions, but they're still developing, and I feel like the right ones are going to push through, and the right ones will have its sponsorship opportunities, and who knows what'll come in the near future. You might actually get it sooner than you think.
I like yesterday I was kind of going through my YouTube and I was like looking at all the channels I had been subscribed to for the last 5, 6 years, and it's like, wow, about 80% of them haven't put out content in over a year or even 2 years, and I'm just like, wow. And here I am, started this channel in 2019 on the just because Anya Ramirez, the Queen, told me
Mm.
told me I had to do it, and she busted my balls all the time to create a channel because she said people will watch. You're smart. People will watch you, and I was like, I don't think anybody would watch what I have to say. She's like, no, you know your stuff. People will tune in, and here it is from 2019 to now, and I'm just like, I it blows me away every week that I see a lot of the same faces in the chat every week that show up to support that want to learn, that want to kind of go on this journey with all of us out there, because the initial premise of the channel was I've for the last almost 25 years that I've smoked cigars has been boutique and small brand, and that's what I've always kind of been into.
Yeah.
And I wanted to showcase that. I wanted to give people a reason to go to the other side of the humidor and try something that's out of their wheelhouse, out of their comfort zone, because there are gems back there that will blow all the big brand stuff away. Just put your blinders on when you walk into that humidor. Don't look at the big fancy display and all that. Don't look at the names, but go to the back and look at the names that you've never heard of. I guarantee you it'll be better than anything that those big guys have out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that does run true with a bunch of like the legacy brands. Because forgive me for saying this, but like I feel like a lot of them are not innovating as much anymore. They don't need to.
No.
So they have a lot of distribution avenues, a lot of different things going on for them already that there really isn't a need to have to pull the market in, right? So
Well, I'm not going to mention any names,
don't have to.
but you know, I can tell you that a couple of the big brands dropped new sticks in the last couple years, and only thing they did to them was put a new band on it. But it's an old blend that they had out that nobody was buying
Wow.
because there is no innovation in it. The blends, there's no. It's like, okay, well, there's nothing great about it, but I have found through this journey with the boutique, you guys put your heart and soul into it. You can taste it in the cigars. The quality of the tobacco is much higher quality because it's not being mass produced.
Hmm.
Like I can just you can taste it. You can taste what's put into it. And I think that's what drew me to that side of the boutique world was I can taste, I can smell, and I can see the differences in the tobacco, and for the same cost that you're for what you're spending, for the most part, for a big brand stick, you can pay the same amount for something like this and get something that's 10 times better.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that? It's like that doesn't make sense to me. Why settle for just the blah, the average out there when you can have something that's extraordinary, that's different, that's gonna make you rethink what you thought you knew.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Look at that, Miguel from the Bakersfield Gentlemen. Good to see you,
Ladies and
sir.
gentlemen, shout outs to Miguel and Frankie. How you doing, guys?
Miguel and Frankie, love those guys. When I first started doing content, they were one of the first people that was super cool to me and would talk to me and give me advice when nobody else would. They were one of the first.
Wow.
They were
That
one of
says
the
a lot
first
about
out
your
there.
character, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I love those guys. I love those guys. I'd go to war with those guys anytime. They meant a lot to me, and they were one of the first. Like I reached out to them, and then they were like no hesitation asking. Unlike somebody else out there whose big name I won't mention, who told me he won't give me advice because I'm his competition, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you're on the penthouse. I can't even get into the door of the building, but yet I'm your competition. Okay, and now nothing makes me happier when a lot of these brands drop something new, and who has the exclusive? And then he's got to post links to my content to the exclusive because I got nobody else. It makes me so happy, and I know it's probably eating him up. It eats him up.
You're a competitive guy, man. That I can appreciate because yes, when someone tries to like discourage you and tries to put you in a position where you're just I don't know, it's not support. We'll put it that way. It can be discouraging and yeah, but it lights a fire under you and it makes you just want to go twice as hard, three times as hard, and that's when people start to be surprised that like, wow, there's these cigars are still around or this person's still around, it shocks
Well,
people.
it is, and a lot of it is a lot of these brands that I was on really early on before anybody else would. Nobody would give them a shot. Nobody would talk to them, and I said I'll do it. And now those brands have started to get some notoriety out there, their names out there. And now they want to talk, but at the end of the day, they weren't big enough or good enough for you to talk to at the time. But they were. I was happy to give them a platform, and then, well, hey, we got something new. Oh yeah, that's right. Big media guy doesn't get the exclusive. This little guy here has the exclusive on the brand new drop. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching the show, oh yeah, you can pre-order it early before anybody else can get it.
Yeah. There you go, Big D.
I know it.
505
I
Nation.
know it.
Let's go, buddy.
I know it. I know it's just got to kill. I'm at last year at PCA. We were standing in. I was standing in line right next to him, and he did his best to not even make eye contact with me, as if I wasn't even standing there. And I'm like, yeah, go for it, buddy. It's cool. I'm living rent free in that head of yours, and I'm cool with it.
There's when it comes to competition, I think there's over the years there has been like a lack of class. When if somebody outdoes you, somebody outdid you, and it's kind of like you do need to go to the person's hand, shake it, and say, "Good job. I'm gonna get you next year, though." And that's what's been missing from business and competition in this era. You know, I feel like a lot of that is there's no reason for anybody to have animosity in this business, in the cigar business.
Well, now we got Anthony sucking up to the boss. Anthony.
Beautiful, buddy.
You do not get brownie points for that.
He actually has something on the go today, and that he's kept me privy to. So it's go for it, Anthony.
And Paul, KiKi MoMo coming to Canada soon. All right.
Yeah, Paul, buddy. Thank you for that reminder. Yes, so KiKi MoMo Cigars will be entering Canada soon, very soon. Despite all the things that are going on in the world, we're still pressing through, and we're still wanting to do some good business with people in Canada. So that is going to be happening very soon, and as soon as we have announcements of where things are going to be available, we'll be making those announcements very, very fast.
There you go. Well, thank you, Eduardo. You know, I just like to be out there, representing and showcasing these brands that people don't hear of. But then, Eduardo, you're on the cutting edge of a lot of it because you're in on the ground floor before the brands blow up, and you've known about them like a year or 2 years before anybody else did. Because
Eduardo's a veteran.
he's a Eduardo's a loyal soldier to the show, man. I love that dude. Like like he's always in the chat. He always asks good questions. He's just I appreciate him because he's here every week.
That enthusiasm right there, Eduardo, I appreciate you. That enthusiasm right there is what cigar culture is all about. You know, I have a good friend in Scottsdale. His name is he goes by the name the Chairman. Fantastic guy. He's been like smoking cigars for like 50 years. Incredible guy, and his motto is kind of like Pokemon. You got to catch them all. You got to try them all, right? So the more you try, the more you're eventually gonna find something. Like I found some gems in some bundle cigars, because I was starting to notice I was smoking on a daily basis before I started having some serious health issues. I ended up smoking a lot, and I'm just like, I really got to manage my budget. So I found some nice gem bundle cigars, and you don't know until you try it. Really, you can't scoff at everything that's out there just because it's cheap. Sometimes there's something really good out there.
Oh yeah, I uh, I agree. Because Alan with Family by Loyalty, he's right now working on his budget line to come out towards the end of the year. And so I was smoking some of the testers he got, and I looked at him after I got about 10 puffs into it, and I go, as your friend, I can't let you sell this for $7. It's too good.
Oh,
He's like, all right. He's like, yeah, that's our. I'm like, there ain't no way. If you told me that this was a $20 stick, I would totally believe you and I'd pay it. This thing is so good. I'm like, this is a banger for seven. You're gonna sell these for $7?
yeah.
No way. And I'm super excited about that. It's like, wow. Budget line stick that $7 stick smokes like a $20 stick, and it's delicious. Like I was it did took more than 2 puffs for me to already have the floor soaked.
Yeah, yeah. And you can't go wrong with that, especially in the cigar industry. Like, you're very welcome, Eduardo. I appreciate you, buddy. So, when it comes to cigars, it's like I'm gonna tell you a story. So, in my family, we kind of have more of a distant family. There's a lot of past and busy with work type of situation with my family, so my extended family. So my father and his brothers sometimes aren't very close. And so one day he tells me, hey, we're gonna go with my brothers to Mexico. We're all gonna go with our wives and go hang out. And I said, you know what? That's a good idea. That'll be really good for you. And so I'm like, you guys might as well smoke some cigars while you're out there. My dad goes, oh, he smoked a cigar back in like 1979, choked his lungs out, never smoked again. So it was one of those things that I'm just like, okay, well, I want you to have a different experience with me. So I'm your son. That's all you owe me is just a cigar. He goes, okay, fine. I took him to La Casa in Las Vegas, and very nice place, and we smoked. So I gave him something pretty good to digest, which was a was it the Liga no, yes, a Liga Privada, but the Connecticut. And this particular one was just, very light, something for him to try. And I told him, I said, once you start smoking, within 30 minutes, we're going to have a conversation deeper than we've ever had before. And he looked at me with this weird face on, just like, just enjoy, just take your time, right? 30 minutes later, we're talking, we're healing, we're doing a whole bunch of these different things that I didn't even expect we were going to do. And by the end, we bonded so well that it was just an incredible experience. So before my dad left, I hooked him up with about 9 cigars for him and 2 of his brothers. So they have 3 smokes each. And I said, take these. I gave him a Patriot cigar, FYI. And they all went and they went to Mexico, and I didn't hear anything else about it other than my dad saying, "Yeah, we had a good time," and that's about it. So I'm like, maybe I should have given you a cigar before I asked this question. But it's one of those things where later my cousin, so my dad's brother's son, came and visited me in Vegas, and we went to a soccer game together, and he called his dad to let him know that we're here together. This man, you see the emotion just well up in his face that something incredible that happened, and it just, I read it so well, and I just knew that that bonding experience between brothers just took it to another level that these guys did not expect, and it brought them closer. And I'm just like, that all happened because of cigars. Take KiKi MoMo out of the equation, it all happened because of cigars. And it's just that kind of culture you cannot experience in like a vape culture or a chew, pouch culture, or cigarette culture. It just doesn't really happen. So it's such a unique experience when it comes to cigars, which I'm really a big fan of.
Yeah, I never thought 25 years ago that I would have the friendships and connections I have that were provided to me by fermented dead plant matter.
Unbelievable, especially when you put it that way.
How am I liking the Patriots so far? Okay, well, no, I'm joking. It's delicious. It's delicious. I really, I'm really digging it. The flavor profile from the second half has started to change on there, so that really more of a nice fresh espresso up front has now moved into more of an espresso bean on there. So I'm picking up more of that bitterness. Nice wood notes coming through. Just solid, kind of solid oak, light leather on there. That vanilla bean has now moved to more of a fresh vanilla taste on the palate. Uh, light white pepper towards the back of the palate, but that retro still has that very smoky cayenne taste, which I really like.
Yeah, excellent.
Well,
And
let's see.
then you
Well,
also get that little bit of velvetyness to it. Like, I've never had a velvety habano. I've never had a nice, like, when you draw it and it's on your palate. I feel like a lot more of it stays than normal, and then you taste this texture on your tongue, and it's just nice velvety when it comes to the
yes, it's
habano.
a very silky smoke
Mm.
on in the palate. Is the Patriot available in any shops in Vegas?
Yes. So in Las Vegas, we have about like 9 stores that are currently carrying it. And so if you go down, just let me know. I definitely recommend the number one store. It's not a lounge, so you can't exactly smoke there and chill, but probably the best store in Las Vegas to go hit up. Probably people are gonna get mad at me for saying this because I'm out here, but Las Vegas Cigar Outlet Superstore, run by my uncle Roger. He's a fantastic guy. Absolutely supports KiKi MoMo Cigars. I know he's got them in stock right now. There are some places that I do believe need to reorder, so we'll keep you updated on that. But yes, you can definitely go check him out in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there were a lot of people in the chat. I guess are some Vegas natives, or at least go. They're kind of throwing places out in the chat too. So there you go. There you go. I'm a Kiki Momo guy from Romeo.
There's Mr. Romeo. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, good. He'll be there. All right, Chris. Well, enjoy Vegas in March. So I didn't ask you this when I was asking you about your journey into cigars. What was the very first cigar that you smoked?
I'm not proud of this, but I will share it.
Okay.
So the first time I ever smoked anything, I was 13, I think, on my way to commencement. We're moving from junior high to high school. And on the way there, I picked up something called, in Canada, they have something called a Century Sam. It's probably the equivalent of like, uh, for lack of better words or lack of better brands, probably like a Black and Mild sort of, but like not didn't have a. It was just a full cigar. It didn't have any filters on it. And I end up finding it in the park, and I'm just like, oh, this is cool. It's still
Ew.
good. It was still awesome. It was still in a case, like in the tube, the glass tube. So I was like, well, what better way to celebrate that we're moving on to high school type thing? So tried that. It was a terrible cigar. So I don't normally count that, but that kind of started my way into actually
Okay.
wanting to. So when I was in high school, I had some friends that hustled, and I had some, one day where they were actually giving out or not or selling cigars on the basketball court. And my friend asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you want a stogie?" And I said, "What's a stogie?" I didn't know what it was. Oh, and he says it's a Cuban cigar. I said, "Okay, cool, Cuban cigar, right?" So it was a Guantanamera Habana, and that started me into really getting into it, and at least wanting to try more, for example. And then I got into a Cohiba, which just the basic Cohibas that they had out in Canada, and a friend went to Cuba, brought me a cigar back from there. Same thing, another Cohiba. So those were like the first four cigars that I tried ever. And then nothing for probably a decade. And then finally, when I moved to Vegas, is when I got into it. So many, many years. But like, when I was a kid, again, not proud of that moment, but it was the first cigar, and I cannot discount it because it made its way into my life. And it was a great cigar, at least from when I was a kid, going like, oh, this is cool. Like, so that was an interesting
Okay.
thing.
So what was the cigar that you said I like this and I want to do more?
At the
When
time,
yeah, because now you're at the shop because you said you hadn't smoked for 10 years. So
pretty much,
now you
yeah.
come in and you're working in the shop. What was that first cigar that you had in that shop?
So the cigar that made me go, I really need to try more, was AJ Fernandez Bellas Artes uh, Lancero.
Okay.
That my friend, one of my friends, his name was Eric, and he was at the Tobacco Leaf. He told me, he's like, "Hey man, if you want to try something, you got to try that stick right there." So I said, "Okay." Tried it out, and I was just like, I had to go back there. Everyone's sitting back in the lounge there, and I went back there, and the guys are looking at me because I'm never back there. I never go back there because everyone's chilling and I'm working. So I went back there, and everybody's looking at me like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Eric, dude, that stick was amazing. Like, that Bellas Artes was amazing." So that got me onto trying other things. I went on to like was it Esteli Herrera, the that blue band, that one that has that Brazilian rapper on there.
Okay. So all right, the Modafina.
Yeah, yeah. So got into that one. That led me to a Norteño. That led me to Neanderthal. That led me to like all sorts of different things. And finally, I found that punch that I really liked. That after dinner Lonsdale, and it just became a snowball of stuff. And the more I smoked, the more I could help the customers. So it benefited everybody pretty much.
Very good. I like it. Oof. Wait, and you didn't start off like light either on kind of where you started your journey at. When you worked at the shop, you kind of started out at that, of that higher end of medium on the body there, and something that packs a bit of a punch
Yeah,
too
yeah, yeah, yeah.
on that because AJ's stuff doesn't go light, and his Lanceros I think go heavier than his regular cigars
Mm.
at times. I'm just like, dang, dude, this thing. He still makes to this day the only cigar that made me cry.
Cry of,
It was so,
disappointment or cry of appreciation?
it was so spicy.
Oh,
Like, I could, my mouth just was like on fire with all the different peppers and spices, and I go, I'm going to regret retroing this. And I just had tears, like I thought my septum was like melting, and I just had tears coming down my eyes, and I was
oh my
just like,
God.
"Oh my god, this is so heavy! I've never had anything this heavy before, ever! Wow, wow,
Did you smoke a pissed off Christoph?
yes, very good. Now it's heavy, but it's not as heavy as that the Shadow King from AJ Fernandez. Not even close. That is
Okay.
by far the spiciest, fullest body cigar I have ever smoked in 25 years.
Wow. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I do have to credit a friend for this. So I brought, just in case, now I don't really have to with this cigar, but I brought some chocolates because I credit this to my friend Matt. He runs a lounge out here in Pahrump, which is 45 minutes outside of Vegas. Fantastic place called Lowside Cigars. If you're ever back in Vegas, dude, I gotta take you there. Beautiful place. Um, I credit him with it because what he says is that when you start smoking the heavy stuff and you get into that feeling where you start to get the head buzz or like the nauseating feeling sometimes of smoking something crazy heavy. He's like, what that is actually your blood sugar is actually dropping, and you're starting to feel the effects from the tobacco itself like more heavily than normal. So when your blood sugar drops, you just take a piece of chocolate. He actually offers like Hershey's Kisses. I think he spends like $1,000 on Hershey's Kisses a month or something for people to just have come and have for free because you don't want anybody really getting sick in your lounge, right? And so this has become such an effective tool, effective technique, especially when I want to get into something super heavy. Like I just recently had El Septimo, one of their like full body cigars, and it was the shorter one, and I was like, bro, this thing, if it was a full Toro or something, this would have kicked my ass really bad. So, you know, I credit him with that technique. So anybody listening back home, if you end up feeling nauseated, grab something that's like a chocolate or something, and it'll put you right
I,
back in the right place.
I tend to not go after the heavy vitamin N cigars, not because I don't like it. It's just you know it they're it's an it to me it's almost a lot of those heavy nicotine laced cigars tend to be missing something, and so it's ramped up the nicotine to compensate for something that the cigar is lacking, in my personal opinion.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's just my personal opinion. Now, say that, but like Banff Cigars ish, he has the Pure African. It's an African Puro. That thing, it does not smoke as a heavy nicotine cigar, but uh, I stood up and I had to sit right back down again. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, and chocolate, Eduardo. Chocolate's also a palate cleanser as well. So if you're feeling that your palate's a bit dirty while you're smoking, and you're getting kind of a mixed you're kind of getting a mixed in your palate where it's like I can't separate out flavors. The chocolate will help that. It'll cleanse out that palate for you as well. So it's also a palate cleanser,
Yeah, it's
especially.
like the equivalent of like when you go to like a big box store like Macy's or Saks Fifth. I don't think they're box stores,
Okay,
department
fancy
stores.
man.
Huh?
Uh, okay, fancy man.
Let's just say you walk in a place like that and you're getting some colognes, right? What they do is they actually have a bowl full of like coffee beans. So if you're smelling colognes like five, six, seven colognes, you want to refresh your palate. Well, not your palate, but your nose, and that's so that way you can actually not be too fatigued. So yeah, man, it's the same when it comes to cigars. You just need some little bit of a palate cleanser. I'm very happy with just plain old water that helps me clear it out, and it's pretty
Eh,
good.
I do water when I'm doing review stuff. I drink a ton of water, and then I also go with unsalted saltines, crackers. Just that really it absorbs all that everything in your mouth. and really helps clean it out so I can have a really fresh palate to break down a cigar with. Yeah, Eduardo used to sell. Yeah, there you go, coffee beans. It's like ginger for sushi. Yeah, similar there
There you
with
go. Another
the ginger.
example.
Yeah, great example there. Yeah, like the ginger. Yeah, is really it helped. It's one of those palate cleansers out there. Unsalted crackers are great as well out there. So
How
this
do
is
you
a
cleanse
really
your
good
palate
smoke.
when you're drinking wine?
When I'm what?
How do you cleanse your palate if you're drinking wine?
I don't drink wine.
Okay. So that's
I
something
have an
I've
I
actually.
have an allergy to wine.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's something with the fermentation process on the grapes. Give I break out in hives.
Wow. That happens with
So
me with bread, so I can't eat bread.
uh but bread's so good.
I know, I know. Believe me, I know.
Bread is so good. But yeah, I can't drink wine, and I really don't drink a lot anyway. To begin with, I may, really the only time I drink is usually is at like PCA or TPE, or if I'm at a cigar event. That's about the only time I ever drink. So I may drink a total of 5 or 6 times out of an entire year.
It's not bad, there's it's funny. Stogie chick says no wine, no bread, and crying faces.
Yeah, it's so good. Bread's so good, and I'm Italian. I could not imagine not eating bread. Like, that's like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love carbs.
There's a trend going on right now where I'm not sure which millennial group this is, but I think it's Gen Z or the one after Gen Z, but it's just one of those things where drinking has literally fallen off, like as far as profitability goes, with this new generation becoming the generation to spend money from having a career. It's just totally dropped off. Profits have really just it's not the same. The last three generations were killing it with the liquors. This new generation does not drink. So it's very interesting what's going to happen in the
Now,
next few years.
like, no, when I was in my teens and 20s, I consumed enough alcohol to pickle my insides. So no, I don't. Plus, man, I'm in my 40s now, and boy, if you have like that one extra drink, it puts you on your ass for like 5 days, and it just takes you forever to recover. I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know how am I gonna function. Ah,
Yeah,
I
hangovers suck when you get older. I'm 37, so hangovers are kind of like I don't want to even go there anymore.
oh no. That was PCA last year. I got trashed. Oh my god, did I get trashed? I'm hanging out with friends, and then we go back up to our hotel room, and then she pulls out this bottle of cheap ass whiskey, and go, well, let's do a couple shots. I said, okay, and it was the hotel cups, which are like that big, and just filled them up, and then it was a chug. So I had two. I did two of those shots,
My God.
and I left her hotel room. I was walking in the middle of the hallway, holding onto the invisible wall, and I'm just like, I don't know where I'm going.
The wall. You're
The
trying to
wall.
grab
I'm
onto
like,
the
oh,
railing.
the invisible wall will hold me up. Oh my god.
Oh, it's one of those days.
Stogie, Jessica, thanks for hanging out, man. I
Thank you.
really
Thank you,
appreciate you
Stogie Chick.
showing
Thank
up.
you.
It's nice to have royalty enter my show, man. I'm like stoked that she showed up.
Really awesome.
Yeah, and so then I met up with Nikki the next morning, and I go, "How are you even walking?" And she's like, "I don't know." And then we went to the pizza stand over there and got a greasy ass $12 personal pizza, you know, because it's Vegas, and a $3 pizza has to cost $12.
Yeah, worse in other places. I, I
And
saw
I'm
a
like,
guy online. He posted
gotta
his
absorb
receipt.
all this alcohol in my system.
Yeah. Hamburgers are usually the best thing to do that because of that bread. It just absorbs everything.
I needed the grease.
The grease too,
Oof.
man.
I needed that grease from that terrible pizza. Then I felt better, but oof, it was rough. Like I didn't know how I was gonna get back to the Airbnb. Like I'm sitting there, I couldn't find my way to the Uber pickup,
Oh
and
no.
then I had to close my eyes as he was driving because I knew that if I opened my eyes and I saw everything moving, I was gonna lose it.
I've been
I was
there.
gonna lose it. So I had to. So for the 15-minute Uber ride back to the Airbnb, I'm just all eyes closed, deep breath. Don't yak. Don't yak.
Yeah. No, this is the worst feeling in the world. But to counter the worst feeling in the world, probably gonna do something that gives you the best feeling in the world. For those that are tuned in right now, I'm not seeing a lot of 505 nations. So if you want to win, make sure you're commenting because we are going to be drawing very soon.
Comment. You can comment as many times as you want.
As
Although
many times as you
I'm
want.
just going to run the randomizer, so I don't know if that will up your chances of winning,
But yeah, that's
but we'll see here. So let's talk about here because I was talking too much and I let my smoke go out.
Let me know how it tastes after relighting.
So let's go over what the people are going to win. So let's see here.
Daniel's got that big box of goodies.
We do. We've got some KiKi MoMo socks.
Beautiful.
That's very nice. We have got a KiKi MoMo tie. And what's cool about this tie, it's a tobacco leaf. I love it. That's awesome. Okay. We've got a KiKi MoMo lanyard.
And it's got a little clip on it, so I don't know if there's anybody that lives in a place where you have mailboxes and you have to like. So I've seen some people like bend down with their lanyard because it's too short. So you just unclick, unlock your mailbox, and you're solid. You don't have to bend and stretch your neck like a giraffe.
We've got a challenge coin
Beautiful.
and a sticker or a patch. I can't tell which on that one. A pin. Okay.
No, this side.
A lighter.
That's actually a very good lighter. I'm very, very impressed with that lighter.
We got a hat. I'm jealous of. I want the hat. Ugh.
I'll send you a. We'll make sure we send you.
Oh, there's two hats in here. Well, okay,
yeah,
good. I got a hat. There we go. All right, I got a hat. We've got this this lady crew neck.
Not a ladies. It's a European crew neck.
It won't fit over my arm, but look at the back. That's awesome.
It's beautiful.
That is beautiful. We got the shirt, and then I don't know how many of these cigars are they getting.
So, this is the best part about it because Daniel is very, 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 very. I think he's the most appropriate person to select two. So you're gonna get two from this selection here, and he's gonna send that out to you. So he's gonna make the choice, and you're gonna enjoy this beautiful KiKi MoMo cigars.
Well, I see there's a Patriot in there, and you know he said two, which means I'm going to probably send you a whole lot more.
There you go.
So you're going to get
Better
more.
bonus.
You're going to get an even better bonus because I'm a generous man. So you're going to get all of this shipped out to you.
We had a question here. Eduardo asks, Mr. Cortez, would you be interested in being involved in blending a cigar of your own under the KiKi MoMo brand? Yes, absolutely would. It's something that probably could happen in the next couple of years. You know, I feel like soon enough I'd love to make it out to Nicaragua, European. I'll tell you about that in a second. So, yeah, I think there is room for us to not exactly expand our offerings currently because we have a lot, over 180. It's massive selection. But I feel like at some point we do need a few solids that'll be go tos. So I definitely want to be involved in that process. That's for sure. I've had some dreams of having some nice cigars made, but they have to include Ecuadorian tobacco because that's where my family's from. So we'll see what happens in the near future, man.
There is a ton of great cigars in this box.
Do you like the big boys, by the way?
I don't mind big boys.
Good, good, good.
I don't
Those are
mind them at all.
probably they have so much in them, obviously, because they're much bigger Vitola. But like those are the ones that I give you like that nice huge amount of flavor if that's what you're looking for. So like a Gordo 6x60 type thing is if you love flavor, I recommend that.
You have one with a shaggy foot on it, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have
Yes.
Shaggy Foots. Uh,
The one that I smoked with the shaggy foot was fantastic.
yes,
That was one you gave me, in Vegas.
yes.
It was so good.
TP. It was the Shaggy Foot Habano Sublime.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
Sublime. So the Sublime Vitola is actually 6.5 inches, so it's that half inch taller than a Toro, and that gives you that when you have that Shaggy Foot, it's
right there.
there you are, there you
Yeah,
are.
right there.
So you have like that little half inch of filler and binder only, and then it goes into the wrapper after that half inch. So you get to taste what it tastes like inside first, and then the next experience is when the wrapper comes in, and that's when it just really hits, and it's just
So, so whoever wins, you're not getting that cigar. I'm keeping that for myself. All right. Um, yes, I'm not gonna give that one. That one's for me. But there is another Patriot in there, so somebody will get the Patriot. I will give away the Patriot, and I will probably split the. I'll probably split that box up with whoever wins it and give them the rest.
there you are.
So
Some more bonus
Henry
things
said
on
Henry
this one.
said two, but since the rest are mine, I'm going to choose to gift them out to people. So so I
Spread
will
the love.
spread the love exactly. So I'll split up that box. So you'll get a little bit of a nice KiKi MoMo sampler on that. So if you want in, make sure you type 505 Nation. I'll
Spammer.
give you I'll give you guys I'll give you guys another minute or so to to get that typed in. You can type it in as many times as you want. I don't know if it'll help, but
It'll help the social media for sure.
it will help. Yeah, because more people are commenting on this.
It's nice. That's very cool.
So yeah. So type away, and I'll give you guys another couple minutes, and then I will run the randomizer. Actually, I'll let you, Henry, talk for a moment while I should have done this beforehand, but I didn't. Let me get the randomizer set up.
Oh, no worries.
I'll
So
let you talk
actually, one
while.
thing I wanted to talk about real quick was that again with cigars, it's a totally different culture than any other smoke culture or smokeless culture. That it's kind of alarming to see these new pouches. It's supposed to replace chew, and it's a little bit neater. It's like single serve type of situation, and in the last like yeah, there you go. Yeah, in the last like 3 years, for example, the company Views, I believe it is. These guys actually, yeah, there's those pouches. Exactly, smokeless. It's good for work, I guess. Grizzly.
Well, I've dipped since I was 14,
Mm,
and I decided I wasn't going to do the fine cut dip anymore because it makes a mess all in the mouth. The pouches, I still get the nicotine and the tobacco, but it's more discreet and I can keep it in my mouth.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And nobody's none the wiser when you're at work sometimes.
Yeah, no, and I can, if I go into a school and work that's a tobacco-free zone, well, I have tobacco in my mouth.
And nobody knows. Yeah.
And nobody knows.
So the alarming thing that I found was this company Views. They in 2021 to 2024, they went from a $300 million industry to almost $1 billion industry in 3 years. And when you compare that to the cigar industry, the only reason why the cigar industry is increasing in America is because a lot of other cities are actually allowing lounges to open up. Business is starting to boom in Atlanta. Business is starting to boom in Houston. And so like these are the two places that are really leading the revolution as far as the expansion of cigars in America, despite the legal battles that are going on. And it made me realize that convenience and smokeless and having a pouch, for example, like a dip, is it's interesting that it's gone up like threefold as an industry in just 3 years, and it'll continue to grow. So I mean, cigars doesn't exactly grow that fast. So I mean, there are additional things inside those pouches that start to make it a little bit more addictive because we don't chain smoke cigars, you know what I mean, or we don't, that. So it's a very interesting thing that I came across recently, and it's kind of shocking.
All right. I hope everybody has got their entries in, and I'm going to go ahead and run the randomizer, and let's see who wins. Chris, congratulations.
Congratulations, Chris.
Congratulations, Chris. Yeah, either hit me up on Instagram or send me a DM or an email with your contact info, and I will get these all shipped out to you I'll probably get them out to you by the end of the week.
Beautiful. Thank
Congrats,
you,
Chris.
Thank you all for participating. This has been awesome.
Way to go.
So let me ask you real quick. So whenever you're, obviously relationships are important to your show. So people that you meet, people that you gel with, you want to interview and have a great show with. When you come across new people, like new companies and stuff like that, what do you feel is something that you look for as far as what makes somebody interesting to come on the show?
Well, my emails and DMs are filled up every single day by brands, and I ask 3 questions when I get hit up. And if they can't answer any of those 3 questions, I pass on them, because if they can't answer it, then I'm not asking you to spill secret sauce or trade secrets, but I need to know, one, that you're a legit brand, because there's way too many brands out there, fly-by-nights, or buying bundle sticks and then just slapping a band on them and calling them your own out there. So I ask 3 questions, and then if you pass that 3, then from there we can have a conversation and go from there about what are you looking for as a brand. What do you want to do? Do you want to come? Are you looking to do the Monday night show, the 1-to-1 interview? It's a more intimate setting. It's more about showcasing. Or do you want to come on the Tuesday night live review show on there? Sit in the hot seat and listen to Brandy and I critique your cigar. You can do both shows. It's 2 completely different audiences out there. And I usually push them to the Tuesday night show to start off, because it's a really good introduction to people out there about the brand, and people get a real life first-hand take on what we think. They get to see our facial features, they get to see us interact, they can ask some questions. It's not really an interview, but for you're sitting there and you're taking it all in, what we're doing. You're answering questions from the chat, but you're getting a review out of it, and you're getting a promotion of really your brand is up front and showcased. So are you confident in your brand? And that tells me a lot if they're confident in their brand or not Are you confident? Yes, I am confident. Every stick I make is banger. Then let's put it to the test
Yeah.
up there. It's a different audience than what you get over here. Over here, it's a more laid back feel. It's more of a vibe over here. There's no pressure. You can sit back and chill and relax and just talk and have a conversation. And over here, it's more designed for the people to get to know you, who you are, get to know what the brand is all about, and really, really, on a more intimate level where it's not two people who are critiquing what you've put your work into.
Yeah, that makes sense. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate that you go across different platforms for different purposes, and like I noticed that you do the replays on Rumble, and
Yes.
that's really cool.
So a lot of people within the cigar community bolted out of YouTube because YouTube was targeting accounts. I was one of those targeted. Because I got a 30-day suspension
Jeez.
on. So they left, and a lot went to Rumble, and so I moved over to Rumble. So anything that I do pre-recorded is going to be on Rumble. Replays of this show go up on Rumble on Wednesdays, and when we have a Tuesday night show, I download that show off of Instagram. I edit it so that it can be put onto the Rumble format, and then I put it up on Rumble on Fridays. So you can see if you're not an Instagram person but you want to see the show, I'm giving you an outlet and a platform to watch the show that we did on Tuesday night, so you can see for yourself.
And that's why I appreciate your shows because you consider a lot of these factors, and when it comes to audiences, like an Instagram audience is totally different from a Facebook audience, and vice, other examples. So I really appreciate that you pay attention to that.
I do. I notice it. Over here, between you know the YouTube chat is usually the party chat, and there's usually multiple conversations going on between people in the chat going on. Facebook is more individually centered, where the people who are watching in the Facebook chat aren't really talking with each other in the chat. Their comments are geared towards what's going on in there, where on YouTube I have to filter through a lot of the comments because there's multiple things going on in the YouTube. It's more of the party chat.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I've seen
know.
those lives. I've seen those lives on YouTube where you got like 40,000 people in them, and it's just chaos in the comments. Like it's just you can't even read. It's moving so fast.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like I'm kind of
Thank you, Sean.
watching, and what's going on. But yeah, YouTube's the party chat. But and Instagram, things move fast on that Instagram because things move up. So the ability to have to be able to read a comment and then hold on to that till we're at a point where I can ask that question is there, because I can't scroll back up and view the comment. So I got to remember what the comment is because that's constantly moving,
Yeah, yeah.
on there.
I think Eduardo was asking me how far I go down. I'm going pretty far. Going pretty far right now.
I keep talking and I keep putting my stick out.
And that cigar is always going to be good when you relight it.
I had no
Someone told me
problem
that they
with
left
like
the cigar out overnight outside and it dried and they expected it to be terrible and it was still good. And I was like, are you kidding me, dude? How could you
it
leave
takes
my cigar out there like that?
it takes a while to make a cigar go dry bad,
Yeah.
and that takes a while, like years. I've smoked.
Pennsylvania?
I've smoked. I'm from New Mexico, so I'm from the desert.
So you know. Oh,
I know. I've had sticks. I had sticks in my old before I swapped out of wood humidors to Tupperdoors. I had one of my wood humidors on there. The seal wasn't on. and it wasn't a humidor I got into much. It would probably been a year before I was into that before I checked that humidor out and saw that they're dry, and I smoked them, and I think most smoked fine. You know, it had a little. There was a little bit of dryness on the palate because the cigar dried out, but for the most part, the flavors were still there. It didn't really affect it. It didn't really affect it that much.
Yeah. Do you find that sometimes? Have you ever smoked a cigar that didn't realize it was dried and it got very spicy?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. It's very interesting.
Yes, the Patriot. Look at that.
Yes, sir.
I lost my roofing nail number.
Oh no, that thing is so classic.
You like that?
Yeah, because it's resourceful.
Mm.
Chris says they'll be in all the states soon. Yeah, yeah.
All
That's the
right,
goal. That's the goal.
that's the goal. So are you guys having a booth at PCA this year?
Yes, we are gonna have a booth at PCA. We're
Okay.
excited. We're bringing photo ops. We're bringing a throne that you can sit in. We're bringing a lot of different things to really just bring the excitement and fun to PCA. PCA is already a good time, but we want to make sure that we make an impact when we're there.
Look, I'm glad it's in April
Yeah.
because I was there when it was IPCRP XYZ. You
Oh,
know, that when it was in New Orleans, and it was the middle of July, uh, and it was unbearable. Like you didn't want to leave the event center, and you didn't want to leave your hotel room.
that sounds like Vegas.
I'm fine with Bay. Like I'm from the desert, so the heat that doesn't bother me. Like I'm fine with it. Um, do you do store events?
So by any chance in Philadelphia. So we do public events. So we do events probably more at lounges, if at all possible. And Pennsylvania is a state that we have been eyeing, and we're actually aggressively expanding our sales force. So anybody that is looking to represent a company, let's say for example in Pennsylvania, we do have an opening there. So that we are looking in places where we're currently not at, and so we're aggressively expanding, and it's just a huge opportunity right now with how we're positioned. So anybody who's interested in that, please reach out.
PCA, that's the Premium Cigar Association. It's the big uh, consumer lobbying group for the cigar industry out there, and it's also a trade show. It's the Super Bowl of cigar trade shows. You
In
know,
America.
out
Yeah,
in
yeah.
for America out there, and then in Europe, it's called Intertabac, and
Interbac.
they hold that in Germany.
I'd love to go to Interbac. It looks like a really good time.
I would too. I would too, but you know, I it looks like it's fun. I've talked to brands that have gone out there, and unless you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, it's almost impossible to get into the European retail shops.
Wow.
You really have to know somebody, and they have to really vouch for you that your stuff's good and it will move.
I see that market. Oh, Western New York. Yeah, we are in New York, in New York State. So if you want to reach out, I'll find out and see exactly what stores we're in New York State because we are there. I know for a fact that we are in Lufkin, Texas. We are in Florida. We are in New York State. We are in Illinois. We are in here in Nevada. We are in Phoenix, in Scottsdale, so Arizona. We are making our way to California as well, north and south. We do have two reps that just came on board, so we're working diligently to make sure that we can expand.
Any cigar event, yes, any event's good. There's always cigar weeks out there. There's always events and festivals, but really the ones that the manufacturers, the manufacturers square up for PCA because that's the big event that goes on out there. Um, Atlanta Cigar Week is the other one that the manufacturers get big on. Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest. The manufacturers love one day event, and they just make a ton of money off of just showing up for one day.
What's
Because
that Texas one that you went to?
Dallas Smoke Fest.
Mm.
I had a blast
Yeah.
out there. That was the first year that they did it.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
So you're up there. Europe is mainly a Cuban market. However, because the Chinese now own uh, the Cubans out there, they're really starting to open up more to what was called now us New World cigars, American type cigars out there. Just because they can't procure the amount of Cuban cigars that they used to, since most are going off to the Chinese market
And
out
it's
there, and
a
they've
crazy
gotten
market.
stupid expensive in Europe. My friends in Germany tell me all the time, like they buy a box that used to cost like 250 American dollars, now about 800 American dollars, and nothing in it's changed other than they just don't have the amount allotted to them anymore that they used to have.
Yeah.
But there is all. If you're asking about European tobacco, yes, Ireland is known for their pipe tobacco out there.
Oh,
Uh,
wait. No, that's Scottish. Never
that's
mind.
Scottish, and of course Turkey. Turkey and Syria
I'd love to
known
try
for
some Turkish tobacco.
are
It
good.
seems
Yeah,
super interesting.
Ish with Banff has a cigar that's made with Romanian tobacco from the Transylvania region. Calls it the Blood of Vlad. Out there, he is the Irishman that uses traditional Irish tobacco. He's got a Turkish cigar out there made with Turkish tobacco. The Mafioso, which is an Italian puro out there. So there's a lot of there is Europe that grow. They just don't do the the amount of numbers, because they've really hampered down on tobacco in Europe. So it's made it really hard
It seems like
out
some
there.
of the legacy brands are actually having a good time out there, expanding. I've seen a lot of videos, and they're really honing in on that European market.
They have, but I talked to Carlito Fuente about that, and he had a presence in the European market, but in the last 5 years, it's exploded even bigger because of the lack of Cubans coming in, and that they've really kind of gravitated towards Fuente over there as that replacement to Cubans in
Jeez,
that European market.
that's crazy. Yeah, because Cubans, again, you said it's all dominated in China, so like they're really just buying up that market.
Smoke Onos. All right, all right, that's good. Yeah, Dallas Smoke Fest was great. I will be back again for the year two. They asked me to come back and be an ambassador again.
Oh, nice.
Um, I had a wonderful time. It was fun. They they put on a great show, and um, all the events were fantastic. Well, you didn't even if you didn't buy the VIP event to get you into every event there was. They had enough events set up that if you wanted to kind of pick and choose what you wanted to go to, you could, and it was great. The Q&As were fantastic, and having a lot of brands show up and being part of the Q&As were really good out
Yeah.
there.
Cigars with M is here. Shout out Michelle.
Uh,
All right, I'm gonna
wow.
call it. This is where I could get it down to. I love the structure of this cigar. It is by far.
Oh my goodness, it's the work wife. Michelle, good to see you. Yes, as you can tell, I've essentially destroyed this cigar. I really like the nub. The nub tastes fantastic, by the way.
Which one? You had the Habano or you had a different one?
No, the
Oh,
on
that your nub. I
the
thought-
nub. Yes, the nub. Yes, the nub tastes fantastic.
Yeah.
By the way, it's very good. Um,
We also carry our own version of nubs. So we have a 4x60 nub that comes in a Habano, Connecticut, and the Maduro. So that's actually a good time. A lot of people really appreciate that here in Vegas.
all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you, Henry, for coming on, man. This was a great show on there. I forgot who won the giveaway. I didn't write it down.
It was Chris.
Chris, make sure. Chris, you've gotten something from me before, right? I think I got your address. If you're the Chris who's won from me, I can't remember. I didn't write any of this stuff down.
Really good.
Whatever. Chris, just DM me your address again.
Yes, please DM them.
Yeah, please DM me. I don't remember who. Hold on, now you're going to make me go back up here and look. Who won?
I will say, Dan,
Chris
I
Coulter.
appreciate you. I appreciate
Chris Coulter, you were the winner. Chris Coulter. So, Chris Coulter, I think I have your address, but anyway, DM me anyway, just so I can confirm I still got your address, so I can get that stuff out to you. Yeah, Chris Coulter, you were the winner. There you go. Great show. Anything you'd like to promote before we hang out tonight? Hang up the chat tonight, there, Henry.
So KiKi MoMo Cigars expanding out, so we'll be out there in different states shortly. We're just expanding our force. So again, if you know anybody that wants to get into the cigar industry that maybe has a little bit of a background of cigars, a cigar nerd's preferred because I'm a cigar nerd and that's how I look for my people. And if you know how to cultivate relationships and nurture them, then this is the industry that you need to be in. So I appreciate you guys, and you'll come visit us at PCA in New Orleans if you're going to be there.
Excellent. Derek. Next week. I don't know about next week. Guest had to reschedule, so I'm working on a replacement guest, so you'll just have to tune in on Monday and find out who my guest is. And, of course, Brandy and I will be back on Tuesday night next week as well for Raw Cigar Reviews. So tune in over on IG next week in case I don't line a guest up for Monday. So, but I'll promote it. You guys know what to do. That's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, congratulations, Chris Coulter. Make sure you get me your address so I can get your prize pack sent out to you. And we will see you all later. Take care. Be safe out there. Don't do anything that Henry and I wouldn't do because we're sweet and innocent boys. And we'll catch you later.